I'm here with musical artist Jeff Catto to talk about his own journey and his fighter mentality when it comes to his faith. Welcome, Jeff, to the 700 Club Canada.
Thank you very much.
Jeff, you know, we talk about fighter mentality. That's something that we need in this day and age more than ever before. Where did it start with you?
So for me, it's just, you know, it started as a kid and kind of growing up in a pastor's home and kind of touring around with them with church plants and so and
I want to stay there for a second because there's something interesting about you're a revivalist and you grew up in a pastor's home and God did something as he was starting to stir inside of your heart. Talk to us about that.
Well, when I was a kid, you know, I grew up in it, but then I strayed away for a long time. I started doing country music and toured around and played, and I really kind of loved that lifestyle. I wanted it to be all about me, and like I strayed for quite some time, and I really wasn't a good guy. And I tried for years to make it, and I got really far, and then you know I just kind of lost it. But as a kid, my mom had a word over me when I was like 3 years old that I would be a worship leader in the same leagues as Brian Dirksen and David Roos.
Wow.
And at that point in time, they were kind of, you know, like the people to bring contemporary Christian music into churches.
I know both of them very well, and that is really a statement.
Yeah, and so she never let go of that. She prayed every day, even when I was away from God. And eventually we just kind of I actually put on a show and I lost a lot of money, and I actually was charged. It rained for 3 days for a rodeo that I put on, and I lost $75,000. Wow. And luckily, well, thank God my parents helped me pay it back. Yeah. And I said, okay, I'm putting down my music. There's no more music. So I stopped. I sold all my guitars, everything, and I stopped for 2 years. And I was selling cars at Nissan, and a pastor came in. And he was like, Jeff, I want to sell this. I want to sell my car. It's a piece of junk. And after 10 minutes, he revealed to me that he felt like God was telling him that he was supposed to tell me that I was supposed to pick up a guitar and start writing songs again. And I was like, right? Like, who are you? You don't know me from a hole in the ground. And he just so happened to have a church in town that he let me come and play some songs at, and that really kind of revitalized. I was like, man, God hasn't forgotten about me. Yeah. Like, of all the stuff that I've done, all the people that I've hurt, or you know what I mean, he still doesn't forget about me. Yeah. Whereas like I don't deserve to have this. I don't deserve to have him to continuously show his love for me even after all this time.
You know, that's such a powerful message, because there's a lot of people just in that same position, that God cares about me. After that encounter, he really began to do something inside of you and give you a passion for this nation. Talk to us about that and the project that you're doing right now, this new single that's just going across Canada.
Sure. So Miracle is the one that has been recently out throughout the summer. And I wrote it after I had just started kind of getting back into this, and it didn't matter how far that I got in country music, I was never satisfied until I gave my life to Christ fully and completely. And then that's when I decided that when I was going to do this project again and pick music up again, that I was going to be the Lion. And it's just because I live for me, right? I wanted people to know who I was and wanted to like almost worship me, right? When I was in country music, like I wanted to be that artist that everybody kind of wanted to go see, and that was it. Yeah. And then when I got over to the Christian stuff, I was just like, you know what? This isn't about me, and I don't want it to become about me again. I don't ever want that. You know, when people think of the music that I write, I want people to be like Jesus. Yeah. Right. Just seeing that after all the stuff that I'd done, all the mistakes that I had made, that he still showed me that he wanted to use me, and that my life had purpose. And I'm a big believer in purpose. The lion is such a strong symbol, and it's such a prominent figure. And with 6 children and a wife, and also just this heart that you have, what does that lion really mean to you? He's the king. Right? Lion's the king of the jungle, and that's just kind of how I view him, right? I mean, I know it's kind of like lion and lamb, but when I view my Jesus, Jesus is a lion to me, right?
You know, the lion in this project, talk to us. How did that came about? And now as you travel, when people hear the lion, what do you want them to know?
You know, when I go out and I play for people, I want people to see raw emotion. I connect with the songs that I write because they're coming from the heart and they're coming from God to me to be able to say, hey, this is what it is. And you know, a lot of people find that I'm or will say that I'm like emotional when I sing, and it's because I feel it. It's not just because, you know.
Is that because being a pastor's child and your mom saying that you'll be like Brian Dirksen and David Roos is now really happening and it's taking place?
It's pretty wild to think that like God does, well, he just doesn't give up on that prophecy, right? Or that you know what I mean? Just it's amazing. So I guess that it's more about the fact that he loves me that much, that I just let it all out when I'm playing. You know, that's it.
I feel it even while you're talking now. What do you want people to get out of this this miracles, this song? What's behind the writing of that?
It was just about being able to give when you can't do something yourself, and the weight of the world's on your shoulders. It's about giving that to God, and being able to just say, hey, you do it, right? Like I can't, I don't have anything left to be able to give to this other than prayer and be able to put it in your hands and have the faith and pray faithfully that God will perform a miracle. Whether that's actually that somebody's gonna happen or you're praying for that miracle to happen, but whatever God's will is truly what we're praying for, right? And that's you know, that's truly what it's all about, is just being able to be strong enough and have him hold you while you go through that storm and that struggle. And
I really believe a lot of people identify it. That's Jesus' prayer. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Jeff Catto, man, my brother, I really appreciate what God is doing in you.